11 lines from the bottom, page 92, chapter Chabbala of 26 of Shaar HaEmunah, written by the Middler Rebbe. Now we're going to get into Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, that he doubted whether or not he was going to get Gan Eden or Gehenna due to his doubt as to whether or not his Nefesh Elokis was going to refine his Nefesh Hativius. B'kol ze yuvan mash amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and we'll understand this according to what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said. When we say we're going to understand this, referring to the idea that your heart has to be above and your eyes down below. Why is that? We're going to understand that idea of divine service, of avodah, through what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said to his Talmidim, the Talmidav, his students. She'eino yodea, I don't know. Be'ezed derech molichim, where am I going? Oisoi, im la Gan Eden or la Gehenna? Am I going to go to Gan Eden, heaven, or am I going to go into Gehenna, a place like hell? Not hell exactly, but we call it Gehenna, a place of cleansing and fire. Tezug Pela, this is a wonder. Ma'oid, very big wonder. Har Yodua, ben nafsho besom, livoy, be'avadasoi, be'torasoi, Kol Yamav. It's a big wonder because it's well known that he served Hashem with his whole soul, with his whole heart, in all of his service, and all of the Torah that he did for all of his days. Shlozu Mo'ohel HaTorah Va'avoida B'di Eloki Kol Yamav. That he didn't leave from the tent of Torah and from the tent of serving Hashem through avodah, and he experienced Hashem all his days. But Eloki Kol Yamav, all his days. Ki hayachid b'doiroi, he was the man in his generation. He was the man. He was the Nasi Adori. He was the prince. He was the leader of his generation. He was the leader of Klal Yisrael, of the Jewish people of his generation. B'Torah, b'mitzvahs, b'mesiras nefesh, b'kriyas shema u'tefillah. And he served Hashem with completeness. In Torah, mitzvahs. He even did it with Mesiras Nefesh, with self-sacrifice, soul sacrifice, spiritual and physical sacrifice. And the way he did his Kriyas Shema, and the way he read Shema at night, in the mornings, and his tefillah, and his davening. Achine al-pi kol Israel. And according to this, which we just mentioned, Yuvan biyos sheish hefresh gadol bein hanashama loki l'chormar ha-nefesh hativius. That through this we can understand that there's a great difference between the Nefesh Elokis and the Nefesh Hativius, Shibaguf, that's in the body, V'yur, that the Neshama, L'borer L'guf, that the Neshama itself came down in order to refine the body. Okay, so let's take a minute here. What does he mean that there's a big difference concerning what the Middler Rebbe was just saying about Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai? Why is all of a sudden now saying this? And through this, of what we've mentioned above, we can now understand the great difference between the Nefesh Elokis and the Nefesh Hativius. Because the Nefesh Elokis itself is doing the refining of the Nefesh Hativius. And that's on a higher level. Shetishchel, he can intellectualize be'enai with his basar, b'riya ha'akara mamish, that he can intellectualize and he can see with his physical fleshy eyes, and he can recognize Hashem mamish, ad shetochal gam hi like lamaila, until he comes to such a point to see that he's cleaving to Hashem above, that when he's seeing Hashem with his physical eyes down here in this world, he comes to a stronger devekus, a stronger connection to Hashem above, in all his natural functions, in all its functions. It's interesting because we're saying it's happening above, that there's a greater devekus above. Then the Middler Rebbe uses the words in all his koicheosecha hativis, in all its natural functions. So maybe it's like either one of two things. When I think of tedious, when I think of natural, I think of the functions down here. So why is he saying in the same sentence, in the same breath, that there causes a great dvekus above, and this is through all of his powers down here. Through utilizing all of one's powers down here in this world, one is able to come to a greater dvekus above. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai l'roiv anava, through his great humility, shaloi lo yadu b'nafsho halokis. He did not know if his godly soul, im birur b'chi toiv, if he had refined to such a perfect point, l'nefesh hativiyas shaloi. B'koi chochaisecha adei toiv mitzvahs, v'avoida shelo b'tefillah. He was concerned. He didn't know whether or not, through his own humility, he didn't know whether or not his nefesh halakis had perfected his nefesh hativius, which is down here in this world, to such a degree that his nefesh hativius then could do all its Torah and mitzvahs in the most refined sense in thought, speech, and action, and also within its intellect, and in his amidos, and everything, and in his emotions, and everything that he did, and everything that he interacted with, in which he interacted in this world. He was concerned as to whether or not his nefesh halakis had perfected his nefesh hativius.